Launch control, this is Houston. We are go for launch.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's ChrisXradio.
ChrisXradio.
What we need right now is a clear message to the people of this country. This message must be read in every newspaper, heard on every radio, seen on every television. This message must resound throughout the entire interlink.
And now, your host.
I believe this is going to be our finest hour.
Chris X.
Good afternoon and welcome to ChrisXradio. I am the aforementioned X-Man, along with Captain Jack, who has once again assumed control of the airwaves. He'll maintain control of these airwaves for the next 2 hours as, of course, we come bearing a gift beyond price that is almost free, ladies and gentlemen. We bring you the spirit of talk radio, and boy, is there always plenty to get into. I swear, it's at some point you would think it would slow down to the point where you don't. I've talked about this before, where you just don't have too much that you can't get into. Well, I don't know if that's ever going to happen again. I just don't know. All of us will be gone, and everything will be gone before that happens. Anyway, it is Trump Day. That's right. It used to be Hump Day, but now it's Trump Day here on The Voice of Texas, here on ChrisXradio. And I'm glad to have you here on Trump Day. We'll do every Wednesday is Trump Day because it just sounds so much better than Hump Day. As we gear up for the Trumpocalypse Part 2, we shall call it Trumpocalypto because the left is losing their minds every day. You know, it is kind of amazing watching them not lose their minds over the damage they have brought to this land, but them just go crazy over what, quote, Trump's going to bring that he didn't bring the first time around. It's interesting. Nonetheless, we'll be taking your phone calls if you want to join us here on The Voice. 281-558-KSEV, 281-558-5738. All right, so that illegal alien who happens to be a Tren de Aragua gang member, has been convicted on all counts, 10 of them, by the way, and will be sentenced to life, or is sentenced to life without parole for murdering 22-year-old nursing student Laken Riley in Athens, Georgia, in February earlier this year. It's hard to believe it hasn't even been a year. But nonetheless, the felon had been released from the southern border into the U.S. by the Biden-Harris administration and given a work permit. Boy, it worked out well, didn't it? Today, an Athens judge found Jose Antonio Ibarra, an illegal alien from Venezuela, guilty of murdering Laken Riley after he stalked her on an early morning jog around the University of Georgia campus on February 22nd, 2024. Ibarra faces, life in prison now without the possibility of parole. The day Riley was murdered, she went for a jog on a route that she ran often without any prior incidents. Never had any issues, but they imported a monster from another country that decided he wanted to go hunt for a woman to rape, and she decided to fight back. And so he beat her, but it was half to death, and then smashed her head in with a rock or a brick or something. Anyway, she was a avid runner and a nursing school student at Augusta University. When Riley did not return after her jog, her roommates searched for her and called UGA police. Now, her body was discovered bludgeoned in a wooded area on the UGA campus. The following day, Ibarra was arrested and charged with Riley's murder. Riley, unfortunately, is in a long list of others that have been killed, murdered, or sexually assaulted, or you name it, by illegal aliens in our country. that have been welcomed with open arms by this administration and Democrats across the country, who are now going to do everything they can to bend over backwards to stop Donald Trump from deporting illegal immigrants from our country. Do these people sound like they care about America, or do they sound like they care about people that have no right to be here in America more than they do about American citizens? 2 illegals who shouldn't have been here, murdered and sexually assaulted, and then murdered, 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungary here in Houston. Last year, a young lady, was she 10 or 11, maybe younger, was raped and murdered, strangled in her own apartment bedroom by an illegal who then stuffed her body under her bed. There are so many that you can't name them all. I can't name them all. I could go down the list, but I can't. Well, anyway, this dirtbag, criminal, illegal dirtbag, has been sentenced to prison, and our tax dollars will pay for him, I guess, the rest of his life. It's very sad. It is a very, very sad day. It's good. At least they caught the guy. At least this animal is going to be locked up behind bars for the rest of his days, hopefully. Unless some Democrat can figure out how to get in and get him out. Because they spend a lot of time trying to do that. That's what they do. All right, so you got that. If you want to weigh in, 281-558-KSEV, 281-558-5738. Senator John Thune, which would be Senate Majority Leader-elect. Is that what you call it? Anyway, and Speaker Mike Johnson have signaled support for recess appointments. Oh, man. The Democrats don't want to hear that. They'll tell you a million reasons why they did it, but you can't do it now. All right, so now they're also saying that Kamala Harris spent $1.5 billion in 15 weeks. So it wasn't just $1 billion and then $20 million in debt. Apparently they spent $1.5 billion. That would be $1.5 billion in 15 weeks. Holy moly. That's a lot of money. We'll break it down. We'll go through that. It is amazing how much money they spent and lost. But then again, she's the worst candidate who ran the worst campaign I think I've ever seen. So there is that. The Texas General Land Office Commissioner Don Buckingham has offered to lease the incoming Trump administration a 1,400-acre tract of land near the state's border with Mexico. So the land can be used to build a facility for the processing, detention, and deportation of violent criminal illegals. That's the difference between Texas and Boston, the difference between Texas and these leftist-run states. Commissioner Buckingham sent a letter to President-elect Donald Trump offering to provide this land in Starr County, Texas. We can dig into that. Thank you, lucky stars, you're in Texas. Now you know why the Democrats won't enforce federal immigration laws in our state, trying to flip our state blue and pouring in, what was it, $80-something million trying to flip it, trying to steal Ted Cruz's seat, which they failed miserably. Thank God they did. And Speaker Mike Johnson has committed to back an effort led by Representative Nancy Mace to block biological men from using women's restrooms in the U.S. Capitol. Oddly enough, we never really had that problem. It was never a problem in the past. But now all of a sudden the party that says, well, men can be women, which are proven repeatedly wrong over and over and over again. The party of science, who can't tell you what a woman is because they're not a biologist, the party of science is going to be 100% against this. I played this audio yesterday. I'm going to play it again so you can hear it. This is Nancy Mace talking about why she's doing what she's doing, because we have our new transgender, a Democrat, obviously, the new transgender member of Congress coming in, and Nancy Mace is like, I'm not going to be going into a woman's private space, a locker room, or a bathroom with a man. There's no reason. They've been separated, and just because a guy pretends to be a woman, maybe takes hormones, maybe had some surgery, does not make him a woman. Anyway, here's Nancy Mace's response when being questioned.
So if that being a feminist makes me an extremist, I'm totally here for it.
Is this effort in response to Congresswoman McBride's coming to Congress?
Yes, and absolutely, and then some. I'm not going to stand for a man, if someone with a penis is in the women's locker room, that's not okay. And I'm a victim of abuse myself. I'm a rape survivor. I have PTSD from the abuse I've suffered at the hands of a man. And I know how vulnerable women and girls are in private spaces. So I'm absolutely 100% going to stand in the way of any man who wants to be in a women's restroom, in our locker rooms, in our changing rooms. I will be there fighting you every step of the way.
I think we should let illegal alien men have access to women's restrooms. What could go wrong? What would Jose Antonio Ibarra do? I agree with Nancy Mason 100%. We live in stupid times. Matt Locke sent me a text yesterday. He was like, I just spent 20 minutes on my podcast talking about why men shouldn't be using the women's restroom. We don't need new laws. Apparently we do need new rules, because any rule you've got, the Democrats are going to find a way to subvert it in a way that hurts everybody, including them, but they just do not care. They do not care. Oh, by the way, Governor Abbott is adding more buoys to the Rio Grande to extend that barrier to help deter illegals from crossing. I guess the Biden administration won't have too much time to do much about it. I'm sure they'll talk about how it's the worst thing in the world. How dare you put a barrier in a dangerous river where illegals drown every year trying to cross? How dare you put a barrier to try to stop them from going into the river to sneak into our country illegally? How dare you do that? At this point, are there any issues they're right on? Anything? Listen, I have nothing against that Sarah McBride or whatever her name was when she was a dude. I don't have nothing against these people. But why does the rest of the population have to acquiesce to those who can't fit in? Shouldn't they be the ones to have special accommodations for themselves instead of forcing? Oh, but that's not how the left works. That's not how the Democrats operate. The Democrats want to force everybody else to go along with them. When we did it, it was wrong, but you can't do it now. You wonder why I rail against these dirtbags on this program regularly? That's why. It's just part of it. All right, let's go and take a break. You're listening to Chris X Radio. We're just getting rolling here on our Trump Day edition. If you want to weigh in, 281-558-KSEV, 281-558-5738. Let's go ahead and take a break. We'll be back. We'll take your phone calls. Got plenty to get into. And it ain't getting any less crazy, folks. I can tell you that. 281-558-KSEV. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Chris X Radio on AM 700 KSEV, the voice of Texas.
Hey, gang, you've been listening to Steve Davis on the Total Wealth Academy radio show. You should be. He talks about how to generate wealth and passive income for you and your family, because that's what they do at Total Wealth Academy. They've been teaching people how to use real estate to build wealth and secondary streams of income. They've been doing it for over 50 years now combined. Maybe you're just getting started. Maybe you got a lot of real estate experience. Total Wealth Academy can take you from where you're at today and help you start realizing rates of return that are almost unheard of in just about any other investment. Now, check out the website, TotalWealthAcademy.com. That's your first step to get started. You can get more information about any of their events. They have their free sample classes. They have their member spotlight nights. They have online classes, so you can take a class from the comfort of your own home. They have their fall event and their spring events. TotalWealthAcademy.com is your first step towards achieving financial independence via real estate investing. Now, I've known Steve Davis for almost 20 years now. I've watched him teach thousands of people on how to invest in real estate. Many went from having no real estate to retirement using those investing principles they teach at Total Wealth Academy. In my opinion, Steve Davis is the best real estate consultant in the country. He's right here in Houston, and he can be yours. Check out the website, TotalWealthAcademy.com, to get more information. And don't forget to listen to Steve Davis on the Total Wealth Academy radio show. It airs Monday through Saturday at noon right here on the Voice of Texas. That's TotalWealthAcademy.com, and tell them Chris X sent you.
At Trulux, fresh line-caught seafood and hand-cut prime steaks are available every day. We have stone crab, our amazing carrot cake, and our famous hospitality. We also have a killer happy hour. Half off all cocktails, delicious small bites like our shrimp campechana, blue crab guacamole, and the best burger in town. So, however you'd like to try Trulux, for a quick bite at lunch, a business get-together at the bar after work, or a date night dinner, we will be honored to have you in.
Plumbing emergencies never happen at a convenient time. Nix Plumbing offers free estimates and free second opinions. Call Nix Plumbing and Sewer Services, 713-868-9907, or visit us on the web, nixplumbing.com.
MPL 38548.
Let's be honest, no one ever thinks about their garage until it stops working. The problem is, worn out springs, cables, and rollers can break before they give any sign of trouble. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. If your garage is noisy, if bugs are getting in, or if it struggles to open, your garage door is in need of repairs. Recommended all over Houston, Garage Door Doctor is your trusted partner for all your garage door needs. Every time your garage door opens and closes, there is wear and tear taking place. If not properly serviced each year, a simple fix could turn into a costly repair. Let the experts at Garage Door Doctor tune up your garage door and keep it running for a lifetime. The Garage Door Doctor motto, honest, quality work at a fair price, isn't just words. It's the Garage Door Doctor promise. Because when you're with Garage Door Doctor, you're family. We never employ subcontractors to do our work. Our staff, including our own family members, will treat your garage as their own. Schedule an appointment today at garagedoordoctor.biz or call today.
And now, back to Chris X Radio on the Voice of Texas.
I think I need some good rockin' music to keep me awake today. I'm tired. I didn't sleep much last night. Man, I don't know if it's my allergies or what, but I can't breathe. Oh, my God. Do we get bad air quality? What's going on? Anyway, all right, welcome back to Chris X Radio. I'm the aforementioned X-Man, along with El Capitan Joaquin, who is taking your phone calls if you want to join us. 281-558-KSEV, 281-558-5738. All right, so Donald Trump is still nominating people. He nominated, was it Matthew Whitaker earlier today? He's going to serve as ambassador to NATO. So I've interviewed Matthew Whitaker once or twice. He's great. I like him a lot. Now, this is going to surprise you, but the New York Times is opposing Trump's nominations of Tulsi Gabbard and Matt Gaetz. Watching the left, they're just so against. Oh, my God, they hate Tulsi Gabbard now. Boy, do they hate her. How dare her leave their crazy party and eventually join the Republican Party and support Trump. Oh, my God, she's the worst thing ever next to RFK Jr. So there you go. Senator John Thune and Speaker Mike Johnson are signaling support for recess appointments. Oh, if you want to weigh in on this, 281-558-KSEV, 281-558-5738. Senator John Thune, who won the Senate vote last week to become the next Senate leader, has said that he is open to using recess appointments to confirm several of Trump's appointees. Now, you may not be aware of this, and I knew a little bit about this, but not a ton. There is a clause in the U.S. Constitution, however, that states that a president may approve his own appointments while the Senate is at recess. In the early days of our country, the government would often take long breaks away from Washington, especially during the summer months, in order to grant President Trump the ability to use these recess appointments. The Senate only needs to adjourn or close for further business for 10 days. The House also holds the power to block recess appointments by refusing to allow the Senate to adjourn. But House Speaker Mike Johnson has said that he also supports recess appointments. Now, recess appointments are nothing new. Once again, the Democrats are going to scream bloody murder. You can't do it. But President Bill Clinton used the recess appointments to appoint 139 different times. And George W. Bush used it 171 times. So it does have precedent. It's not new. But God forbid, no. Donald Trump, no, we hate him. We don't want to let him do anything. He's Hitler, remember? Oh, these people are something special. It's amazing where we find ourselves watching the Democrat Party just go nuts over and over and over. So the New York Post editorial board on Wednesday announced the public opposition to President-elect Donald Trump's nominations of former Representatives Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii and Matt Gaetz of Florida for his administration. Now, Trump picked Gabbard as his incoming director of national intelligence and Matt Gaetz as his incoming attorney general. There's a lot of controversy going. For one, watching these Democrats come out and say that Tulsi Gabbard couldn't be the director of why couldn't she be the director? It doesn't make any sense to me. She can't be the director of national intelligence. I love the fact that these dirtbags who have been trying to manipulate elections are the ones coming out saying, no, she can't do it. And then now they're all against Gaetz because of that, that House ethics panel. Apparently, they do not agree to release the report on Matt Gaetz. They have not agreed to release the report for former Matt Gaetz, according to reports, following the meeting earlier today. Michael Guest, chair of the House Committee on Ethics, told reporters that the committee did not reach an agreement to release the highly anticipated report, who resigned from Congress after President-elect Trump, tapped him to serve as Attorney General. We talked about this yesterday, and we talked to a few people, and everybody seemed to be, I seem to be the only one who was like, well, you know what, if they've got this report on it, I kind of would like to see it. I'm not a huge Matt Gaetz fan, but I'm also not anti-Matt Gaetz. I think he would probably he might be a decent attorney general. He's a bulldog. He's a disruptor. That is exactly what Trump wants. He wants someone that backs him. Matt Gaetz does. Especially considering the people that the Democrats have nominated for their positions, running around saying these people aren't qualified. It's hilarious. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out if they do go the recess appointments or if they go through the, more of a traditional manner to get them, appointed or to get them confirmed. Sorry. That's funny because you have, once again, Democrats are just, they're calling Gaetz a rapist. The View had to go back and issue a quick correction on their show because Gaetz is an attorney and he can sue you into oblivion for lying, which from what I've seen, there's never even been any charges brought against him. So it's hard to convict a man on something that there's never been charges on, yet Democrats do that regularly. But you're not allowed to talk about people who've committed obvious crimes, even once they've been convicted, even once they've done it, when it's on their side. I think Tulsi Gabbard and Matt Gaetz are absolutely good disruptors to the deep state or the administrative state. The new phenomena of unaccountable and unelected administrative agencies, including the national security apparatus, exercising power to create and enforce their own rules and agendas. We have seen this usurping the separation of powers between the three different branches of government. For instance, the laptop story broke back in 2020. Hunter Biden's laptop, Humper's laptop, 51 Intel agent officials signed off on a letter that insinuated Hunter's laptop could have been Russian disinformation. Politico peddled the letter under the title, Hunter Biden's Story is Russian Disinfo. Dozens of former Intel officials say the 51 signatories, however, seemingly knew the Politico story was false at the time because the FBI had the laptop, the one that Humper had abandoned at a Delaware computer repair shop that had multiple felonies on it and God knows what else. I have not seen it, but I've seen some of it. Joe Biden even cited that letter during the 2020 presidential debate with Trump, which many people said, well, you know, they believed it. We have learned that the story was reportedly planted by Secretary of State Anthony Blinken to be used during that event. That was what it was for, so they could go in and try to get, beat Trump. So in that aspect, it worked, I guess. Have any of them apologized for it? Because we all know that laptop is 100% legit now. Did any of those Intel agents apologize? No, they won't go full Harry Reid and won't say, well, it worked, didn't it? No, they won't do that. But they'll come out and go, well, at the time, we believe. No, you're a bunch of liars. You're deep state liars. Deep swampers is what they are. All right, we're over. Let's take a break. 281-558-KSEV. If you want to join us, 281-558-5738. Don't you go anywhere. We'll come back. We can talk a little bit about, well, how at least got Senator Thune and Mike Johnson talking about, well, we may be for recess appointments. That would be tough for the Democrats. 281-558-KSEV. I'm Chris X. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Chris X Radio. Texas born, Texas raised. The voice of Texas.
Chris X here to tell you about Ability Tree Experts. You know, as winter is slowly coming in, those cool temps are slowly, finally rolling into our area. Now, remember, with these crazy weather swings, it sometimes triggers those crazy strong storms. You see the bomb cyclone up on the northeast? Well, guess what? We get our own version down here every now and then. Not only do you need to be prepared for these storms, but you need to make sure your trees are prepared. Calling Ability Tree Experts to come out and inspect your trees for disease or insects is one of the best ways to make sure they survive these storms and prepare them for winter. Unhealthy, sick, ugly trees make your home less appealing, but it also can hurt the value of your property. Now, with over 40 years of experience, Ability Trees has the expertise to keep your trees strong and healthy. Louis Flory has been helping South Texas homeowners care for their trees for almost a half a century now. I don't know where you're going to find better expertise than that. Ability Tree Experts can save your trees, help keep them strong and healthy. Now, by pruning your trees, you know that allows sunlight and fresh air to get up under the canopy to help ensure your trees survive those strong storms. Well, and also high winds. Whether it's spraying, deep root feeding, or pruning, Ability Tree Experts can take care of all of your tree needs. Call them today at 281-441-4179. You can have Louis Flory come out, evaluate your trees, and develop a custom care plan for your very own livable forest. That's 281-441-4179. And check out abilitytrees.com. That's the website, abilitytrees.com. I recommend Ability Tree Experts, Houston's leading tree care professionals. 281-441-4179 or abilitytrees.com, and just tell them that the X-Man sent you.
This is Kevin O'Hara with O'Hara & Company Real Estate. The country and the world are changing for the good. If you're watching the mainstream media, that's not the message you're getting. They've been brainwashing you for years. Dig into the real news and wake up. You were born free and freedom was given to you by God. The word government is derived from the Greek words meaning to steer a rudder. That should tell you something. God put us here to love one another no matter what race, religion, or ethnic group. And I'll admit sometimes I have a problem doing this, but I'm working on it. If you need a real estate company, call O'Hara & Company Real Estate at 281-373-3393 or look us up on the web at o'harare.com. Also, if you're looking for a home builder, remodeling, patio cover, any type of construction projects, give O'Hara Homes a call at 281-373-3393. And here's my grandson.
This is Katie Martinez. God bless America and God bless Texas. One more thing. God bless my pawpaw.
It's time to jog your merry way down to the Texas Renaissance Festival to celebrate our 50th anniversary. Enjoy 8 fun-filled themed celebrations. Shop at over 400 shops. Enjoy tasty food and libations. Revel to music and entertainment on over a dozen stages. Camp under the stars with our stay and play package. Open weekends and Thanksgiving Friday, October 12th through December 1st. Tickets available at TexRedFest.com. Celebrating 50 years of huzzah.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick. Soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Chris X here to tell you about Humble Amco Transmission and AC Specialists. People who know go to Amco. I personally trust Jay Streckfus and Humble Amco with all of my vehicle's needs. With complete car care, they'll take care of all of your auto needs as well. Always a free check engine light inspection, and tell them that Chris X sent you for a free engine scan. Call Jay today at 281-446-0862. That's 281-446-0862 or online at humbleamco.com. Well, I think it was an eminence front, but it was a cold front. A cool front, I guess I should say. Blew in and cooled things down a little bit. Lord knows we need it. Yeah, it's funny, though. It's normal this time of year to every now you'll get a cold front, a little cooling off period for a day or two, and then it gets back to warm again. Very seldom do we have cold, at least from what I can remember, cold Thanksgivings. Usually it's warm, and we've had many, many warm Christmases. I hope it gets colder this year. I'm ready for some cool weather. I'm tired of the heat. I'm done with all the hot air, the hot air, heat, and humidity. I'm just ready for nice, cool. I don't want no darn, bomb cyclone or anything. I just want some cool air. Just something to change the temperatures. I was looking at, man, the trees still all have leaves on them right now. Don't they start losing their leaves normally about this time of year? I don't know what's going on. Even the trees are confused. All right, welcome back to Chris X Radio here on The Voice. 281-558-KSEV if you want to join us. 281-558-5738. We'll get back into Senator Thune, the new Senate Majority Leader-elect, I guess that's what you call him. And House Speaker Mike Johnson have signaled support for recess appointments for Donald Trump, which means he could potentially get some of his nominees through pretty quickly and a lot easier without having to fight the Democrats all the way through. We'll see how that plays out. Let's go to the phones at 281-558-5738. Let's go to Louie, who's been patiently holding. Louie, thank you for hanging on. Welcome to Chris X Radio.
How you doing, guy?
I'm doing okay other than not being able to can you hear me, Louie? Can you hear me okay?
Hello?
Hello, Louie.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah, I have the volume down.
Louie.
Yeah, you start talking hot air, I don't know what you're talking about.
Man, you should give me a hard time. What's on your mind today, ladies, man?
Yeah, you and your sneeze and all that allergy you got. Stick with the Zyrtec, and you'll be okay. And stay away from the hot air.
Yeah, that's about to say, you're right. I need to invest in Zyrtec at some point. This stuff's killing me. I'm just not used to it. I know I've been getting them for a year or two, but, I hate it.
No, when I get it, it's coughing. I get it real bad. And so, usually in September to during the early autumn. Anyway,
Yeah.
My biggest concern right now is that we don't have enough. I don't know if we have enough power or manpower, but you see, we got the Chinese bad enough that we have the Chinese, taking over a lot of places here, and they building their own ground here. Then you got the cartel, which they switch a lot, different places. They now they're going to try to go paramilitary. Basically, they're going to have more armament and to trying to get through the wall or break that wall. And I hope that Trump can get in there soon, because if they start delaying, if these people on the communist side start taking a long time not to confirm the senators, or the Trump cabinet.
Yeah, delaying the nominations and not confirming
Yeah,
them.
that's what worries me, because we cannot afford. We have to start put troops on the ground, because we are in a big threat right now. I know what's going on. I don't want to say too much, but I know what's going on the ground, and I'm afraid that we're going to get hit so bad. And if he doesn't get in there quickly and get his people confirmed, thank God that he's got that.
Well, he's coming in on January 20th, so at that point, looks like he is already trying to get everything up and rolling so he can hit the ground running. If they declare these cartels a terrorist organization, which Trump's already said he's going to do, well, that sort of changes things. And I know that Governor Abbott is still doing everything that he was doing, where they're still they're still putting up wall. They're putting up more of those those buoys or whatever, the floating devices in the Rio Grande. So he's still doing a lot. So the combination, I imagine it would only get better with the Trump administration, considering how effective he was the first time around. But you know what, Louis, you're right. To think that these cartels that are very violent, horrible things, which is why it's such an injustice to allow these Democrats to let those people control our borders. They're absolutely. I feel like you do. At a certain point, they will get more violent than they already are.
And to touch, put a final touch, because the midterm election just around the corner. Just because it's 2 years from now, that they go by fast. But to make, we have to make sure. And this. Remember, those of you who still going to vote Democrat, regardless who comes in there, you are abating the enemy that is destroying us. I don't care how you slice it, and including some of these Republican rhinos. So you are doing your own damage. We are right now. We are circled, and you guys don't know that. And when you go out there and you start voting for these Democrats and those crooked, what do you think that all these Democrats have against what Donald Trump is doing? Because they're getting paid under the table by the same people that they are abating here. So you guys got to wake up, people. I mean, I'm serious.
Well, I'll say this, Louis. They just woke up in the last election, and we saw a landslide victory for Donald Trump and a huge victory for Ted Cruz here in Texas. So it tells me that absolutely the American people are waking up to it. I think they're tired of what the Democrats have been trying to sell us, because they're selling us a bill of goods, and they're selling people down the river is what they're doing. And it's not good. And most everybody knows it now, except for the crazy zealots, the hardcore. But those people will never listen anyway. We know they don't listen.
And what do you think about the Attorney General? Do you think he's going to get? Are they going? I know they're going to give him a hard time. And
it depends. If they do the recess appointments, I think he gets right in. But that being said, I don't know.
The last thing I'm going to say, but I'm going to ask you this question. But why? Look. If you are in that situation and if it isn't true, why don't you come out? And I mean, if you got skeleton in your closet, why would you want to run for a certain party? Why would you want to do that? You have
the Democrats don't care.
Okay, I'm just saying. Well, you have a wonderful turkey. Gobble gobble. They don't eat too much. Oh, by the way, Chris, I know that you love dessert, but there is a place I swear the best dessert that I ever had was in Papadu in Stafford. It's like a cheesecake with strawberry cream all around, and it's got lemon. They got a name for it. Oh my God!
Where was this at?
Any Papado, that Cajun restaurant.
Papado's, okay.
Man, I was in Stafford because I had my motorcycle being serviced. And while I was waiting, I had a few, I had a dessert, watching the girls in the bar and all that. But that's the best. That's the best dessert that I ever had. It is that. It's the one with. They have a different name. I don't know exactly what the name is, but just tell them. I like that. The dessert that comes in with cheesecake and a strawberry around, and lemon, and they'll tell you the name. I forgot what the heck it is. The name.
I can look it up. There's a thing called the internet. I'll go look that up and have to try it. I don't think I've ever had
Make
it.
sure you're hungry when you go there. Take care, buddy.
All right, thank you for the call, Louis. Always good to hear from you. Okay, I'm going to have to go try that. Some sort of strawberry cheesecake, which, by the way, cheesecake with strawberries and whipped cream or whatever. Oh, it's so good. I don't eat that very often, but, man, when I do, it's always good. And look at Louis throwing out there. He knows I love dessert. How would he know I love dessert? Well, if he was at the last pizza party where Rich Rosso bought everybody dessert, yeah, he knows why. It was so funny because I remember when I was leaving, Louis was there, and Louis was getting some dessert to take to go, and he gave it to me. He's like, here you go, take this. I'm like, well, okay. I didn't argue with him. I took it. And I cannot confirm nor deny it got eaten. I'll just leave it at that. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back and get more of your calls on the other side. You're listening to Chris X Radio, 281-558-KSEV, 281-558-5738. And by the way, Louis, I fear he's right. These cartels are dangerous monsters. There's 300,000 children in our country missing because the statistics, what was coming out there, I had a hearing on this today. What's happening to these kids, what these cartels are doing, these human smugglers, these are monsters. And this administration has handed these children to them because they're dirtbags and don't give a damn about children and don't give a damn about you or our sovereignty or our country. 281-558-KSV. I'm Chris X. We'll be right back. Thanks for the call, Louis.
Chris X Radio.
Hi, this is Dan Patrick. Can you believe it's been over a quarter of a century that you have helped provide Christmas for thousands upon thousands of children with disabilities in the Be an Angel Christmas program? Without you, the KSEV listeners, literally, these children would have a very bleak Christmas. Our volunteers are in the midst of shopping now, knowing that we can count on you. Please send your check, make your donations today at beanangel.org. And to you and your family, from ours, Merry Christmas and God bless.
Let's be honest, no one ever thinks about their garage until it stops working. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. If your garage is noisy or if it struggles to open, your garage door is in need of repairs. Recommended all over Houston, Garage Door Doctor is your trusted partner for all your garage door needs. Let the experts at Garage Door Doctor tune up your garage door and keep it running for a lifetime. Schedule an appointment today at garagedoordoctor.biz or call today.
At Trulux, stone crab season is finally upon us. From the turquoise waters of the Florida Keys, we catch them, pack them on ice, and jet fresh deliver them. From our traps to your table in less than 24 hours. Also returning is Trulux famed Power Lunch. Need a spot for a quick lunch meeting? Come and join us at Trulux for an amazing power lunch. Check us out at Trulux.com or give us a call at 713-783-7270. We will be honored to have you in. Your table is waiting.
Hi, this is Robert.
And this is Jody.
And I'm Lynn.
And we are the Auto Pros.
We are here to help you with all of your vehicle dilemmas and questions.
Join the Auto Pros every Saturday 10 to noon, right here on KSEV.
Hi, I'm Don Valentine with John Moore Services. There's an old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So true for homes. Houston homes are simply not built for the cold. Pipes can freeze, water heaters can burst, heating systems fail, especially if they're old. Protect your home with our plumbing and heating checkup and get our famous no breakdown guarantee. Be ready for winter with John Moore. 713-730-2525.
And now, back to Chris X Radio. Chris X Radio on the Voice of Texas.
And this is still one of the coolest songs ever written. It's probably my favorite Foo Fighters song. They have a lot of good songs. All right, welcome back to Chris X Radio. You reached the final segment of the first hour. Don't you go anywhere. Hour number 2 is locked and loaded, and we'll be taking more of your phone calls there. We're going to try to get all the calls in here before we break here at the at the top of the hour. That's right, this is our final segment of the first hour. But hour number 2, got plenty to get into and plenty of time for more of your calls. 281-558-KSEV, 281-558-5738. Let's go to Joe listening in Sugar Land. Joe, thanks for hanging on. Welcome to Chris X Radio.
Hey, Chris, thank you for having me. I just wanted to ask you about 3 things real quick. Number 1, could you tell me the name of that song that you were just talking about that we came in on?
It's called, it's the Foo Fighters, Everlong. One word, Everlong, one word.
Yeah, so the young band I was telling you about the other day, I think, cover that song. I'm going to try to find a way to send it to you. I agree, it's a great song. And I just wanted to say, I wanted to ask you what you thought if Ben Carson I thought we heard that Ben Carson was in some communication the other day, and I can't imagine why he wouldn't have him help with something big. Like, he's a doctor, he's a great doctor, he's a surgeon. Why not have him help with the FDA stuff with RFK and stuff like that, or helping people, even helping with ministry or chaplains to get to everyone, and what the other big stuff they're doing. He would just be great for any of it to have on your team, I think, right? And
couldn't agree more. I know he served in the first Trump administration. He may serve again. He is probably the best, if not one of the best, children's neurosurgeons to have ever lived and ever, in this country. So you're absolutely right. The guy's qualifications and temperament are amazing. He would be a perfect fit in any position. And I don't know if the President Trump or if Benjamin Carson wants to serve again. But if he does, I would be happy to see him. I think he's fantastic. I agree with everything you just said.
Well, the left is using it to say that we're racist, that look what you guys got for support, to try to transfer that feeling to the voters and say, look what you guys got for being traitors and being on the side of normal decency and conservatism. And they call out Tim Scott, they call out Ben Carson, and one of the other nice black guys that were I forget his name, the other cool representative guy. And they're like, look what you got for being a traitor or whatever. I mean, they're just all the time so devious and ridiculous. But either way, I was just hoping that Ben Carson was still available. And I don't know if you or anybody else, I thought he was up. I mean, I thought we haven't heard that he wasn't up for it, so I thought that meant he was. And I would think they would choose him for something for sure. He could go into anything and help a lot.
He may have been selected for something. I don't even know. But yeah, the Democrats are always going to go to that. They were saying, once again, they tried to push the Trump isn't around any intelligent women. Well, clearly he smashed that stereotype through the floor. And then now, of course, we've got that. So they're always racing to the bottom on the left.
All right, I'm going to let you go. I appreciate it. Do you mind if I just ask one more time, if anyone wants to, if they can check out the big reveal on Facebook and TikTok, and hopefully they either get off TikTok or TikTok gets transferred over to U.S. control, one or the other. But for now, the big reveal, and they play all your kind of music, Chris. That's the only reason I want to call back, bring it up again, other than try to help and get some people to see it, is for you to see it, because they play your favorite kind of music. It's awesome. These are 16-year-old kids killing it.
I need to go check them out. All right, the big reveal. I'll go try to check them out here during the break. So there you go. Thank you for the call, Joe. Appreciate it. And yeah, like I said, it'll be interesting to see who all ends up in this second Trump administration. I know probably not a lot of the people that served in the first one, but then again, like I said, you're dealing with the Democrats who lie and manipulate. And the good thing was, we saw it in the last election. People are getting sick of it. People are learning, they're going to alternative methods of information, so they're not getting manipulated by the media and the propaganda apparatus anymore. And and I hope that continues, because we are sick and tired. People are tired of these Democrats with their race to the bottom. Everything is race-based. Everything is gender-based. Everything is ethnicity-based. That's all they care about. Now, the thing is they don't do it. They just appoint weirdos. But qualifications mean something, and there are plenty of qualified people from every race, color, and creed. We'll just leave it at that. Thank you for the call. Let's go to David X. David, thank you for hanging on. Welcome to Chris X Radio.
Hey, Chris, I understand why there's a big buzz around federal politics right now, but I was hoping I could talk to you about a couple of local issues And the reason why is because if we're not constantly having to fight with the executive branch, we can really clean up some stuff here in Texas right now over the next 4 years.
Absolutely.
And I have a couple of priorities that I think people should try to get involved in. We have to find a way, number one, locally, to dislodge Lena Hidalgo as soon as possible, because the level of corruption just keeps getting more and more exposed, and it's just not good for the operations of this county anymore. We need to be the crown jewel of the entire state of Texas, and we're not. And then,
it's unfortunate she got in, and once these leftist dirtbags get in, they're hard to get out. But you're right, she's coming up for election, and I already hear there's a bunch of people lining up to try to run against her. So that we'll keep that everybody apprised on that as that comes around. And we've only got about 30 seconds, but I want to let you get your last point in.
We have to harden the grid here in Texas. That is so important. People keep underestimating how important that is. Call your representative, your state representative.
Thank you for the call, David. Yes, we covered that yesterday, too. Governor Abbott talking about utilizing nuclear power in Texas, leading the country in nuclear and hardening the grid, and also the executive orders against, the Chinese potential threats with them buying up land, but also potential threats to the grid. So they're doing it. They're working on it. We'll see. So you're right. Just about anything can be attacked, and we have to be prepared at this point. Thank you for the call, David. All right, let's take a break. Hour number 2 is up next. Don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back.